poll on YouTube this past week to ask the garden what topic they wanted me to talk about today. And the most votes went to social anxiety, which is great because I think it can be really useful on that topic. So I'll start the episode with a quote, and then at the end, I'll leave you with a poem that I wrote just for you. This is a quote from a poet named William Butler Yeats. There are no strangers here, only friends you haven't yet met. I love this quote because it reframes what strangers are in really a more accurate way. If you can break through that initial ice that you feel with someone that you don't know, there's like an armor that we all have with each other. And it's also on our end too, we assume that everyone is going to be so nasty to us and so mean and they don't want anything to do with us. But if you can break through that and get through that first initial distance between you two, you'll find that pretty much everyone is actually really warm and they're really wonderful and they'll open up to you. And that's not to say that you'll agree with people on all these different things. There's plenty of ways you can agree or where you can disagree with people, but pretty much everyone that I've ever met, with very rare exceptions, is a good human being, or at least they're quite warm and they want to be the good guy of their life, and they are not nearly as bad as your brain would make you believe. So anyway, how do we stop seeing strangers as strangers and start seeing them as friends we haven't met yet? Well, I think I can help you there, little bunny, and I want to do story time just ever so briefly, because I had pretty crippling inability to assert myself socially for pretty much all of my youth, especially in periods of transition where I found myself in new scenarios, like starting a new school and suddenly you're part of the youngest cohort in your school, or moving to a new city where things are unfamiliar and you don't really have friends and you just walk around your neighborhood feeling shy and out of place. It was really, really tough for me to make friends, and there's periods where I would go a full year without anyone close to me. And maybe you're scoffing at me because your record is so much longer of being alone, but I really do know what it's like to have that inability to dig yourself out of awful social anxiety. And it's so dreaded, and it's really so common these days. Maybe it was always this common, but it sure is especially common right now. And if I can be a piece of evidence, social anxiety is something that can be overcome. It's not permanent. If you put in the work, it's just like learning an instrument, these social skills, or it's like learning a language, or maybe learning a video game. Can you think of a video game, if you're a gamer, where it's just so different from everything else you've ever played, but then it kind of clicks at some point and it's second nature and you don't really have to think about the controls and the mechanics? And social interactions can be quite a bit like that. And as long as you're willing to practice and to work towards it and to be brave and to really put yourself out there, I can tell you what you need to do and I can show you the way. So this episode will be maybe just the first part in a series, but I have 3 epic challenges for you, little bunny. But before you get to the challenges, you have to make the commitment. So we're going to take a breath and you're going to think about whether you want to be brave and put in the effort to overcome your social anxiety. And don't worry, I'll be there to help you and guide you along. You're not in this alone. But you will have to go out of your comfort zone. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to let me show you how to do it, when you take this breath and when you exhale, you're going to nod. And that's your commitment that you're willing to put in the work. And if you decide, I really don't have what it takes, or I don't have it in me right now to try and conquer my social anxiety, that's fine, little bunny, okay? Just pause the episode when we take the breath, and you can come back some other time when you really feel that you can take the steps to make friends and to get over the fear of strangers, because I'm here to help when you're ready for that, okay? So you're going to make your decision as we take this breath, and then if you're ready to keep going, then I'll give you your 3 epic challenges. All right, little bunny, I'm proud of you. Okay, so first things first. This is not going to happen in a day. It's going to be little work over the course of months or a year. I think pretty much within a year, you'll be able to be in quite a different place than you are right now. But remember just to think small. You can listen to the podcast about how to move mountains. I think it's number 3. So that's if you start to feel discouraged or like you're not making progress, go listen to that one. Keep your eyes on your feet. We're just going to take things one step at a time, and we're going to find the victory in just each little challenge that we do. Okay, the beginner challenge. You are going to go to a public place. You don't have to do it now, or you can listen to this again when you're in a public place, but you're going to go to somewhere where you can see a lot of people who are strangers. Maybe it's the supermarket is a good place. Maybe it's some pedestrian area where you live, or maybe it's a coffee shop. And you're going to look at each person, and you might feel this kind of fear of this person, of all of these people. But what you're going to do, your beginner challenge, is you're going to say to yourself, I have the power to make this person's day. And I really mean it. Imagine, you don't have to actually do this, but imagine if you were to give this person a compliment. Like you were to go up and say, hey, excuse me, I want to let you know that I really love your hair. I think it looks great on you. That's all I wanted to say. How do you think they're going to respond to that? And if you think that they're going to respond negatively and they're going to say like, go away, well, you need to listen to episode 1 of the podcast called Everything is Going to Be Okay. This kind of fear that the other person is going to react super negatively. Let me give you, we're going to do another something in 3s. I'm going to give you 3 scenarios and tell me if any of these sound familiar to you. So you asked someone a question and they completely ignored you because they want nothing to do with you. Number 2, you made eye contact with someone, but their eyes darted away really quickly because you make them uncomfortable. And number 3, no one makes an effort to come talk to you because you're not worth being friends with. Are you nodding along to any of those, little bunny? Well, if you are, then in episode 1, if you'll recall, that is the shadow on the wall talking. You know what it actually is. Should I say the spoiler? Maybe I won't say the spoiler, but it's not anything scary. It's all made up in your head. Let me tell you the truth about those 3 scenarios. What really happened is you asked someone a question, but they simply didn't hear you. So it feels to you like they're ignoring you, but they literally didn't hear you, or they're so absorbed in their phone or deciding what they want to order. It really has nothing to do with you. I don't know of anyone who would completely ignore someone who's talking to them. The only way that would happen is if you're very clearly handing out some flyers or you're trying to get signatures for this or that. But if you're just a normal person trying to ask someone a question, seriously, nobody is going to just straight up ignore you, especially not a stranger. So next one, you made eye contact with someone and their eyes darted away. Well, that's just human nature. Everybody does that. It doesn't mean anything. So don't read into that. Their eyes darted away. So what? Everyone's eyes dart away. It doesn't mean anything about you. And the third one, you're in a room and you don't know anyone in the room and no one comes up to talk to you because the reason is that they are all wondering why no one's coming up and talking to them. So you have this kind of stalemate where no one's wanting to make the first move and everyone's wondering, why is no one coming up and making an initiative to talk to me? So we'll talk about you being the one to make the initiative. Oh no, now you're feeling nervous again. Well, that brings us to your intermediate challenge, little bunny. So the intermediate challenge is that you're going to actually go up to someone in this public place, and in fact, let's say 3 different people, and you're going to give them a compliment. You're going to say, hey, I wanted to let you know I love your shoes. Where did you get them? And they are going to, I guarantee, they're going to smile. They're going to say, thank you. I got them at this store. And you nod and you say, cool. That's all I wanted to say. Have a good day. Boom, you're done. And the goal of doing this is it's just like lifting a weight or something, or it's like learning to play the video game, or it's learning to play the instrument. Each time you do this, you get just a little bit more confident and a little bit less scared, because so much of your social anxiety has to do with the unknown. You're not sure how this person is going to behave, and you're letting your jerk brain feed you the worst possible case scenario of what they're going to do. And the more times you do these challenges, the more you'll realize, hold on, people aren't all out to get me. They're actually pretty nice. Now, what could be the advanced one? What could that possibly be? Because you might already feel nervous, heart racing, thinking about walking up and talking to strangers. Well, I find strangers are a lot more reliable because everyone is on best behavior. They all want to make a good impression. So it's pretty easy to give a stranger a compliment and have that go well. There's a little bit more of an unknown when it's people that you already know. So that's why the advanced one is going to be, you're going to pick someone that you already know, maybe someone that you want to make more of a connection with, someone that you've been hoping would reach out to you and you're wondering why they're not reaching out to you. Don't necessarily pick a crush for this, because I have slightly different advice about how to initiate those kinds of conversations. And that might be another topic of the podcast altogether. That might be another episode. But pick someone that you want to be friends with, or that you want to express some appreciation for. And if it's too much to do in person, you can do it over a text message or DM in some platform of your choice. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to just 2 sentences. Don't make it super long. You're not writing a paragraph. Hey, comma, I love the shirt you're wearing in that picture. Where did you get it? Done. Send. That's all you have to do. And then the terrible part comes where you have to wait for them to reply. I have to tell you, little bunny, that never goes away. That nervousness where it's like, did they see it? Did they check it? Why are they not replying? How long has it been? I'm so sorry, but that never goes away. But what you realize is that the upsides, the rewards you get for putting yourself out there far outweigh that temporary discomfort. And I know discomfort sucks, but there are great rewards for those who can overcome discomfort. So you'll have to get over that part, but then you'll find that probably they're going to reply very happily. And even if they don't reply, or if they reply kind of not the way you wanted, well, it's already a victory. Because remember, this is not about getting this one specific person to be your friend or making this one connection that you really want. It's about developing this skill and conquering your social anxiety. So even by sending the message, I'm already very proud of you and you've already won. So those are your 3 tasks. So it's a lot of homework, and I gave you multiple podcasts to listen to. So let's review it all. Okay. Episode 1 of the podcast, Everything is Going to Be Okay. That's to help you with that nagging voice in your head that tells you the strangers are scary and they're going to bite your head off and things like that. This will reveal what that voice actually is. The next one is episode 3, How to Move Mountains. That's when you feel overwhelmed by the monumental challenge of overcoming social anxiety. That's not so easy. It's not something you can snap your fingers and have that skill. Well, you're just going to focus one step at a time and you're going to find the victory. So it's a victory every time you look at someone and you think to yourself that you have the power to make their day. That's the beginner challenge. The intermediate one is you go up to the stranger and you tell them that, hey, you give them a compliment. That's all I wanted to say. Boom. If you can do that, that's a victory. It doesn't matter what happens. You're conquering your social anxiety. You're building the muscle. You're learning the game. You're learning the skills. And it will be defeatable. I know because I've done it myself. And I make friends very easily now. And it's because I learned this skill. And then the advanced one is you're going to pick someone in real life or pick 3 people and you're going to send them a compliment and maybe a little question, just a short message, not too long. You're not trying to fawn over this person in any kind of glorifying way. You're just going to send this person a message and give them a compliment and maybe ask them a question. And then you're going to move on. And that's the victory. The victory is not whether they message you back. The victory is in doing it. And the only defeat is if you don't do anything. So the way that you lose is by ignoring everything in this podcast and just doing nothing and continuing to hide away because of your social anxiety. So you thought this was going to be a nice and relaxing podcast, didn't you? You'll have to listen to some of the other ones. I won't give you more homework, but there's other ones that will calm you down. And maybe I should slow things down. Okay, I guess is it time for the announcements and then the poem for the day? I guess so. I've left you with a lot of stuff to think about and a lot of stuff to do. So, announcements. First up, the locked audio this week is pretty epic. If you know my hug videos from TikTok/Instagram, well, I attempted to do a 30-minute long pillow hug. And I totally failed because I got carried away and it became 90 minutes long. So that was a lot of fun to make. It's on the Patreon, which is 18 and up. And it's a small monthly subscription. And that key that you get with the subscription also unlocks some other perks. The biggest one right now that's really blossoming is access to the Discord. And that's turning into a really, really wonderful community. We're having a lot of fun there. It's a great place to come make some friends. And you can also talk through challenges that you're going through. And if you have any kind of creative skills that you want to develop, like you like to draw or you want to learn how to draw, or I myself have posted some music in there. Nothing that I'm singing, though. You don't get to hear me singing, at least not yet. So that's a great place to hang out and meet some friends if you want to make some friends. So the Discord is part of your Patreon subscription. And if you are already a key holder in the Patreon and you don't know about the Discord, check out the post from May 7th. It gives you all the instructions on how to get it set up. And that's all for the announcements. So let me slow us back down and I'll read for you the poem I wrote for you today. Choosing not to hide and cower is my little bunny's superpower. When little bunny is brave and bold, bunny learns strangers aren't really so cold. They're not strangers at all. They're warm friends to be. New friends, all thanks to Daddy and his daddy guarantee that you're fun, little bunny, warm and super cool too. And if you take that first step, other people will flock to you. Superpower, little bunny, don't be afraid anymore. You'll beat this anxiety. Now get up and out the door. Have a great week, little bunny. You're welcome to let me know how your challenges go. You can send me an email at lindy@lindysgarden.com or daddy@lindysgarden.com, whichever you prefer. So have a wonderful week. I'm sending you lots and love and lots of courage this time too. Feel motivated and daddy energy and love coming your way. Okay? So have a wonderful week. I can't wait to hear how well you do. Bye now.